Focus Target podcast presents Smiley's Retro Gaming Corner. I am Smiley, your host, and this is my first crack at doing some streaming, as we've talked about various times. If you're a fan of the podcast, the Focus Target podcast, we've talked about trying to get this going, and today is my test run. Gaming session, so that's why we're talking episode 0.1. This is the first of a number of runs I'll be doing through the old Nintendo game Bandit Kings of Ancient China, a game that probably most of you have never heard of, but perhaps today will be your introduction to what is actually a fantastic old strategy game, a precursor to the Romance of the Three Kingdom games, which are very popular even to this day. So let's get things started. And I hope that you will bear with me as I kind of work my way through my first stream here. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit rough, and we'll just have to see how it goes. So I am going to kick this one off, and we're going to start a new game here. Bandit Kings is a turn-based strategy game where you are fighting against the evil minister, Evil Gao Kui, who is attempting to take over or who has taken over China, and you play the role of one of the many Bandit Kings. Sorry, I'm going to turn that desktop audio down a little bit because you probably won't be able to hear me all that well. All right, let's try that. I think that's a little bit better. We'll just have to see how it goes. But so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm kind of going to explain as I go what's going on here. So we're going to start a new game here. We're going to play on the fourth scenario, which is each scenario gives you the option to play with a number of different heroes, and each hero kind of has a different setting and a different setup. So we're going to play with Nine Dragons. I think Nine Dragons he's always been one of my favorites to play with, and he's certainly one of the easiest, if not the easiest, in the game. And so, in my opinion, we'll do it at level 3 today, right in the middle. And like I said, we're not really going for a super challenge here, just kind of to play the game. So here's our main board here. The Emperor Huizong is worried because the evil Gao Kui has risen to power and is essentially the de facto leader of China. So now evil Gao Kui is represented by the flags with the green dots in the middle that you can see in a number of different locations there. In fact, let's go back to that map real quick. So you can see I'm in the flashing dot at 25. That's Nine Dragons territory. He has a lot of empty space out to the west, which should prove useful for him as the game goes on. Evil Gao Kui is in those black bordered with green circles in the middle. The Evil Gao Kui himself is in Prefecture 23, right here in the middle, and because he is a government official. You can't actually attack his prefecture until you gain the mandate, the edict from the Emperor Huizong. To do that, you have to build up enough territory and win the goodwill of the people. In the meantime, you can fight his lesser areas down here. And then over here on the east side of the map, you can see a number of other bandit kings who are also attempting to overthrow the evil Gao Kui. So they are your competitors, possibly your allies, but generally your competitors, and are CPU controlled. So here in 25, our two main objectives are to survive when evil Gao Kui comes knocking, which he invariably will. From his stronghold here in 24, and also to expand out to the west and build ourselves up a stronghold. So, with Nine Dragons, we have 4 heroes to work with from the beginning. Each of our heroes has different abilities and usefulness. Nine Dragons himself is a good fellow. He's one of the playable heroes, and he's a very powerful character. Each character has 4 primary stats. Their body here, which I have a 95 body, and so this is their max body and their current body. That's basically how much stamina they have or energy. Anything you do in the game will reduce your body temporarily, and then each turn that you don't do anything with this hero, it'll slowly regain over time. So you have to manage that body, because if your body gets too low, you're unable to take certain actions. And in combat, the lower your body is, the less effective you are in combat as well. And if you get very low, it can lead to some trouble. This little guy here, my 93, is a strength symbol. That's how powerful he is. That affects many of the tasks that he can do and how good he is in physical combat. The third one down here is dexterity, my 82. That's how good he is at archery and other and a number of abilities take that into account. So if I sent him out on a hunt, for example, a character with a higher value there will return more food or fur based on what I go hunting for. Additionally, any character that has a 60 or greater archery dexterity skill can use archery in combat, which is a very useful and powerful ability. And then finally, the fourth one is his wisdom. He has a 40 wisdom, which is not really that great. Wisdom also impacts different tasks. The two thresholds for wisdom are 60. You can set fires in combat, and 80 you can use magic in combat, which can be very powerful as well. In this game, unlike many other games like this, you actually can level up these abilities. You can increase your skills by doing different tasks in the game. And so you can see over here, all three of these zeros are my experience level for each relative skill: my strength, my dexterity, my wisdom. And as I do certain tasks, these numbers will go up. So probably by the end of the game, this 93 will be probably maxed out at 100. My archery will probably go... we'll probably get up a little bit higher. My wisdom probably won't get too much higher because I probably won't do too many wisdom-related tasks with 9 dragons. Save that for my other heroes. And then over here, this is something that only good fellows have. This is your popularity score. So this number 15 basically is your progress in the game, how well you're doing. In order to receive the mandate from the Emperor Huizong in order to basically challenge Evil Gao Kui to win the game, you need to get to 250 on this popularity score. So it's a pretty significant amount. You gain, I think it's 11 for each territory that you control with a good standing with the population, and then you can get more popularity, smaller amounts in other ways, which we'll deal with later. 92 is the number of soldiers he has assigned to him. Right now he's got 92 soldiers by default. The most any hero can have is 100 soldiers under his command. And then IMC is integrity, mercy, and courage. These stats are kind of, think of them as the personality of the good fellow, right? And so this determines how well he interacts with other characters. There's a number of things that goes into, but we'll kind of get into that later, but it determines like who has an easier time recruiting, how well his men will stay loyal to him. Men who have a similar values to him, so a high courage, intermediate integrity, and a lower mercy, will be more compatible with him and will be more likely to join him or stay with him. And likewise, characters with low courage and high mercy, for example, will be less compatible with him. He has high scores in all these, which is why he's one of the easier characters. High scores in all are better, and so he gets along well with a lot of different characters, and that makes a big difference. So let's take a look at some of our other heroes here. We have Wiley Warrior, who is a powerful wizard. He has pretty much all the same types of things over here. One of the differences that he has, instead of a popularity score, this score up here is his loyalty score. So he's got a 92% loyalty. Generally, sub 40, just kind of in that 40 to 60 range is kind of dangerous. And under 40 is where you might lose heroes. They may leave you. Unlike if you've played, say, Romance of the Three Kingdoms games, in those games it's critical to keep your loyalty as close to 100 as possible, because there's a lot of poaching of other heroes, and you can kind of recruit heroes from other bandits or other players, other kingdoms. You can't really do that in this game. You can recruit free generals and you can capture characters in battle, but you can't, like, I can't go and try to recruit some other guy's officers the way you can in some other games. So really you just have to kind of keep that loyalty in a decent range and you're fine. All the other stats are the same, so you can see Wiley here, not too strong, doesn't have a great archery skill, but a 91 wisdom means he's a magic user. and a very powerful one at that. So we'll see what Wiley can do later on in the game, I'm sure. He also has a couple little things here. This little symbol shows that he has a boat assigned to him already. That means he has a boat in his possession. And this little symbol shows that he's a steersman, which just basically means he moves better in the water on a boat than other characters who don't. It's kind of a yes/no flag there. Our other fellows here, we got Spotted Snake. Spotted Snake is kind of your average middle of the road guy. Like, he's not a bad character. He's not a great character either. He's got 53 strength and 51 dexterity, pretty much average numbers. He's fine. He's not special really, but he's a solid hero. And then Leaping Tiger is a pretty good guy here. He's got a 79 strength, which is well above average. 63 means he's an archer, so he can use archery in combat. Very useful. Definitely a good strong arm in combat and useful for many tasks. So those are the guys that we have at our command. And so, as I said, our goal is to kind of build up our defenses against 24 and possibly try to expand out to the west so we can build our popularity and find more heroes to recruit. So on this screen, there's a lot going on here, and so sorry, I know it's probably a little bit boring going through the basics, but I want to make sure people know what we're looking at here. So there's a lot going on here, but here's a quick rundown. Your gold and your food values are here. These are important. Your food sustains your army. If you run out of food in battle, your men will start deserting. Money obviously is important to use for many things, and of course you have to pay my 3 heroes who I have in addition to myself get a monthly stipend. So if I run out of gold, they don't get paid and their loyalty starts to plummet. Metal and fur are resources that you can use to do various things. This is the market indicator, 52. It basically says how high prices are. A higher number here means that things cost more but also sell for more. A lower number means things cost less but also sell for less. 4 just is the indication of how many generals I have at my disposal, and 222 is the number of men I have total. Again, each general can only have 100 men, so the max I could have in here right now would be 400. The helmet represents my arms, and the little dude with a staff is, or maybe a spear, is my training level. And so these 2 numbers determine how well, in addition to my stats of my heroes, how well my troops will fare in combat. It's basically relative scores, so if my training and arms are equal to my opponents, it'll come down mostly to the terrain on the battlefield and the heroes doing the combat, versus if there's an advantage in arms and training, that can give you bonuses while you're fighting. Additionally, your arms determines how many arrows you have for your archers. So for every roughly 10 levels, so 35 will give me like 3 to 4 arrow volleys when I'm in combat. So arms are useful for your archers as well. This little face down here is the number of people who are in town, free generals, if you will, people who I could possibly recruit to my side. There's nobody in town right now. We'll keep an eye on that number, and if that ever jumps up from 0 to 1, 2, or 3, we'll want to see who's down in town and maybe recruit them. 3 up here in this corner is the number of castles in this prefecture. Basically means how big is this area and what's going on here. We have 3 castles. For every castle you can have up to 5 heroes in the prefecture at a given time. The lowest is 2. 2 is the smallest, and I think it goes up to 7 or 8. I think 7 is maybe the highest. Maybe 8. I'm not sure. But so in this prefecture, I could have up to 15 heroes. I've only got 4 right now, but if I want to increase my army. And also on the map, that means there'll be 3 castles, which are the best defensive positions should I get attacked. This is a very important number here. This 48 is the how do the people of this prefecture, how much support do I have? And now 48 is a very dangerous place. If you're under 40, this number will turn red, and you're just considered to kind of be there, but not really in charge. Once it gets over 40, you're basically ruling the territory. The good thing about that is that means in January, you'll get a nice big chunk of money and food, which I think is which is obviously ideal. The bad thing is if you're you stay too close to that 40 mark, the people might start a riot, and that could have a lot of negative impacts. Additionally, once you're over 40, you're much more likely to be attacked by your opponents. If you stay under 40, you're kind of under the radar, and for the most part, the enemy, you won't be in danger of being attacked. Since I'm over 40, I do have to watch out for attack from 24. Usually it doesn't come in the first year of the game. It kind of gives you some time to get your feet under you, but it is something to be aware of. So this is a number you have to watch carefully. You want to generally get it over 60 to be out of the riot range. And to do that, there's a number of different ways. You can give the citizens food directly if you want to give them some food. That'll increase this loyalty number a lot. Depending how much you give, I suppose. The other thing is you can work on these three things here. So these three are basically how built up your city is. You have flood control, which protects you from natural disasters. You have your farmland, which directly relates to how much food you will get in January, provided you're over 40 support. And this little flag is the level of the town, which determines, or your wealth essentially, and how much money you will get, how much gold you'll get in January. If you take the time to level these, you're investing in the town, and that makes your people happy. So by doing service to the town, in this case I'm going to go ahead and build, we'll see that number will go up. So let's just for illustrative purposes here, so we're going to build. Our build's at 37, and our loyalty here in our popular support is 48. So when we service, we'll go ahead and service with 9 dragons. This is based on strength, so this will give me strength EXP for this character, as well as how much strength they have will determine how effective my work is. So I'm going to use 9 dragons. My powers are only hope, yes indeed. So that wealth went up to 43. So I gained 6 points in the wealth. So that's pretty nice. And now we'll see exactly what that did. So now you can see out here as we go, some of the other Bandit Kings are expanding their territory. We'll have to keep a watch on what's going out here out here in the east. This is Tattooed Priest here with this red and blue flag. He always kind of expands out. He's another playable character. I could have selected Tattooed Priest to be my hero if I'd wanted to. Okay, so we got to 43. You can see this went up from 48 to 53 as well, so we gained 5 points there. So that's good. We're not quite out of that 40 to 60 range, so we want to do a little bit more here. The other thing I'm going to do is I like to save and change the wait to faster so that there's a little less time for it's just the message speed. I like to speed that up. So okay, so again, I think I'm pretty safe for the first year. I don't really have to worry too much about my army. So I want to take the time to really build up this city. So I'm going to do some more service. We're going to do farming this time. And so now you can notice over here, the body of my 9 dragons went down to 90, from 95 to 85 because I did that building last month. So now the best practice is to use somebody different so that 9 dragons can recover some body by not working this month. Basically, you kind of want to spread around the chores essentially month to month so that nobody gets too tired and everybody else has a chance to rest. So I'm going to use Leaping Tiger next. He's my next highest strength character, and he has a full body right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do him. I did land, so I did farming. So now my farming's up to 42 as well. So here we are in March. Maybe you've already figured this out if you've been paying attention, but each month you basically get one action to go through. So the year's 1105. We've taken 2 turns. That was January, February. Now we're into March. The game does have an internal clock. So the goal of the game, maybe I should have brought this up at the beginning. The goal of the game is to defeat Evil Gao Kui. Right now he's in number 23. And in fact, let me go ahead and save. We're going to, just for illustrative purposes, I'm going to do a view. This would normally take my turn, but I'm just going to show you our opponent here, and then we'll reset and get this turn back because I don't want to waste a turn. So we'll say, okay, look at the data here. So here's our opponent, Evil Gao Kui. You can see he has a lot of homies here. He's got 16. There's 7, so we can have a max of 35 in here. I think 7 is the biggest. He's got a lot of men. He's got a lot of resources even early on. You have to take him out, and you can't just take him out of 23. You actually have to capture him. So generally, you kind of have to surround him so he can't escape. And you can see 23 has a lot of different prefectures touching it, which means you've got a lot of work to do to get him wrangled up, and you do have a limited time. The story behind this game is that the Mongols to the north, the Northern Barbarians as they're called in this game, they didn't actually call the Mongols out, but we know where Mongolia is, are kind of preparing to invade China, and so China needs a unified leadership in order to be safe. And so we have until 11 January of 1128, I believe, is the end of the game. If we can't capture Evil Gao Kui by 1128, the game ends and the Northern Barbarians invade. So you can only get the edict from Emperor Huizong in January of a year, which gives you the right to challenge Evil Gao Kui. So really you've got to have 250 popularity points by 1127 in order to have a chance to win the game. That's a lot. It's a long time. That's a lot of turns, and there's actually a way to extend our turns a little bit later in the game, which I'm sure we'll get to. But that's kind of the overarching premise of what we're trying to do here. So I'm just going to do a quick reset on this because I don't want to lose my turn just because I showed you Evil Gao Kui's face. So let's reboot this back up. But yeah, that's our basic. That's the basic tenets of what we're doing here. It's going to be a long game, and that's why this is episode 0.1, because we're probably going to do this in a number of sessions. It's certainly not going to be done tonight, especially at the pace I'm going, kind of explaining as I go. So okay, so we're up to 58 here now in our town popularity here. So I'm going to service one more time to get us over that 60 mark. We're going to go back to building. Generally, I don't spend a lot of time on flood control. I don't think that's very valuable. It's rare to get hit by a flood or a typhoon. It does happen, and if it happens, it's bad luck. But flooding's kind of what you do if like you really don't have anything else to do. Let's see here. So now we're into April, and so you can see the rotation here. It basically cycles through all 49 prefectures, and it randomly assigns your turn each time. So this time I was 49, so I go last. So basically each month where you act in relation to the other prefectures is completely randomized. All right, so we're over the hump. We got to 65. That's good. I do want to... Let me think about this. I'm going to do a little bit of hunting here. So I'm going to hunt for fur. Fur is a great way in an early game situation to get some money right away. So fur sells usually, like when the market's on an average pace, fur sells for like 1.3 or 1.4 per fur. So like 105 will get you, like 150 somewhere in there. And then if you can catch it on a day when the market's high, you can even get a better rate than that. So I'm going to do a little hunting here. Now, hunting is very tied to your dexterity number. As we saw earlier, 9 Dragons and Leaping Tiger had pretty decent dexterity, so I'm going to use them to do my hunting. Spotted Snake and Wiley Warrior do not have good dexterity scores. So it's just not worth wasting a turn on those fellows to do the hunting. Now, hunting is one of the most tiring things a hero can do. It takes 15 body points off of them. So if you hunt, especially just with 1 or 2 players or 1 or 2 heroes repeatedly, it can really wear you down. And I like to try to keep my body high. So I feel like this is a good opportunity. Oh, no, we got interrupted. There's somebody in town. So you can see down here we've got a 1. So I want to see who we've got down here. So we go to View Home People. And let's see who's in town. It's Poison Cloud. So Poison Cloud is a wizard, but he's not really a wizard. He's kind of a fake wizard. Because he says he's a wizard, but his wisdom isn't over 80, so he can't use magic. I guess you might, if you really worked, you could possibly get him up to 80 over the course of the game, but that would be a huge time investment and really wouldn't be worth it. There's not a lot of things that you do consistently that increase your wisdom that much. Like wisdom, you generally don't expect to see a huge upgrade. Mr. Poison Cloud, you know, and this is something that you kind of have to kind of get a feel for from playing. I've played Bandit Kings for many, many years, so I know he's a little bit of a stickler. Like, some characters will join you right away, like even early in the game. If your popularity's low, they'll just jump right on board. Other guys kind of require you to have a higher popularity before they're going to be interested in joining you. My popularity right now is 15, which is very low early on in the game, and this dude, usually he's not going to go for it that early. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten him at this point in the game. So I'm not going to waste a trip. If I wanted to try to recruit him, I would have to travel to the market where I could buy and sell. You know, I could sell my fur. I could buy some arms or ships, because this prefecture sells both of those things. And I could potentially try to recruit him. But since I know just from previous playthroughs that it's a very low chance of success, I'm not going to waste my turn doing that. The market's not high right now. You know, maybe if the market was in a good place, if this was 60 or 65, I would say, hey, let's go sell that fur, and if we get him, cool. If not, it's still a good trip. But at a 49 market, I'm not interested in that. So we're going to go back to the service game. We're going to farm again. We're going to give 9 Dragons and Leaping Tiger a chance to rest for a month so that they can get that body back up. And we're going to send Spotted Snake out to do the land work. And then, so there's a couple other little things to note here. So hunting can only be done in spring, summer, and fall. Once it becomes wintertime, you're no longer able to hunt, presumably because there's not, the animals are all hibernating or whatever. So in this game, December, January, and February are the winter months. March, April, May are spring. June, July, August are summer. And September, October, November are fall. So we want to take advantage of our ability to hunt while we can, because we won't be able to do so in the winter. So we're going to keep plugging away at the fur here. We're going to do 9 dragons again. We got 83 more fur, so that's nice. And we'll see what the next month brings. So let's talk about some of the other players on here while we're waiting, kind of in between turns. 10 and 20 is Welcome Rain. Welcome Rain is canonically, I think, the one who took care of business, because he has a huge army there and is a real force to be reckoned with in the east. Okay, let's see. Let's hunt again here in August. Getting a nice big stockpile of fur, which is good. We'll throw Leaping Tiger at that. So yeah, so we have Tattooed Priest is 4, 6, 7, and 8 with this red and blue flag. We have Welcome Rain with 10 and 20. And Bold Eagle is in 9. He's that kind of red and white, that little red hourglass. Those are the 4 characters in this scenario that you can play as. So I chose 9 dragons over here, but I could have picked any of these 3 as well if I had wanted to. Bandit Kings also can be a fun multiplayer game if you play with other people, because holy Moses, we got 3 people in town. Who do we got? And it's unfortunately a very bad market. Oh boy, Prodigal. Now Prodigal is a good character. He's got a 71 71 strength and 84 archery. Very potent character, but anybody who has I don't remember if it's over 80. It might be over 90 that you get the body shot arrows. I think it's over 90, so we'll come back to that when we find somebody. But still, a solid archer and just a good player as well. I don't think I could get Prodigal yet. I think it's unlikely he would come. God of Silence, however, he's not really that great. Doesn't have much dexterity. He's got a solid kind of middle of the road strength, but he's the kind of guy who would come, and he matches me as well. You can see he has that C, I, and M. His highest is C, his second is I, and his third is M. That's the same as 9 dragons, so that lines up very well. So I bet he would join me if I went right now. And of course, we still have Poison Cloud down there, who's a nobody. So despite the fact that the fur game is very bad, I think I have to try to get God of Silence. He would be a valuable addition right now to my crew. So we're going to take a little trip down to town. So we go downtown. Let's see what the fur would sell for. So the rate for fur is 1.1. So you're barely getting, we'd make maybe 400 off of that. Which I think I can do better. So I'm going to wait on the fur. I'm not in a huge rush for it. We could also buy arms or buy ships. Ships are important for moving over river tiles or lake tiles on the battle map, but we're not going to do any of that right now. We're really here for the folks. So we're going to go downtown. Now, if you go to recruit somebody, they'll either say yes or no. If they say no, it actually lowers your popularity by 1. Because you're kind of embarrassing yourself, right? You're basically getting rejected by this guy, and everybody else is like, well, maybe this guy's not so cool after all. So what you can do to protect yourself from losing popularity, which I like to do early on and really throughout the game, you can divine. So if you divine, you can basically check to see, is this guy going to say yay or is he going to say nay? And that way you don't risk any popularity if he says no. It does cost, I think it costs like 10 gold. I think it's worth it. So we're going to start with Prodigal. He's the one I really want. I don't know what he's going to do. So let's see what the bones say. The bones say that Prodigal is uncomfortable with the thought of serving you. You must expand. So basically what that means is I don't have enough popularity to get him yet. So I'm glad I didn't ask, but that is a shame. Let's check on our boy God of Silence. I think he's going to be a yes. God of Silence seems to be interested. Your paths are destined to cross very soon. So I think I'm good for him. We'll just for grins here, we'll take a look at Poison Cloud. He's going to say no, though, I'm sure of it. He's a proud person. You cannot recruit this one just now. Yeah, that's about what I thought. So we're going to go ahead and recruit. We're going to hit the recruit button. We're going to approach God of Silence. I'll do your bidding. All right, we got him. So now we're going to return. And so now we play an interesting game, which is sometimes when you recruit somebody, if you have some unfortunate luck, they may have a change of heart and decide they don't actually want to be part of your crew. I think this is either only happens at certain months or has a higher chance of happening on certain months. I'm sure there's people who could tell me that, but I've never paid enough attention to that to remember. But he didn't leave, so that's great news. He's with us. So the first thing you always want to do when you recruit somebody is you want to give him something so that he sticks around. So I'm going to give my hero in this case, God of Silence. So you can see Wiley Warrior, Spotted Snake, Leaping Tiger, their loyalties are fine. Obviously, I'm loyal to myself. I don't have a loyalty score. But God of Silence in the red, he could leave at any time. He could just say, peace, I'm out of here. So we're going to give him some dough. We'll give him 100 gold. He says, I thank you. His loyalty is now 91. So now he's cool. So generally, you want to keep an eye on their loyalties. But their loyalties tend to not go down too drastically. It kind of depends who they are and how well they mesh with your leader, but for the most part, just keep an eye on. You don't want to let anybody get too low. So we got God of Silence locked down. That's good news. I'm excited to have him. That's kind of a rare get. I feel like he doesn't show up here in 25. Every game is different when you play. Like there's a lot of randomness, especially over what happens with the NPC battlers, where the free agents go. So that was a good turn of luck for me. Okay, so boy, 26. I could go buy some fur and make some money. Jesus, that may be as low as I've ever seen. I don't think the market goes below 25. I think 25 and 75 are the bounds for the market. At least I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen it be at 26. That is truly amazing. I wish it was like that last time when I had gone down to get God of Silence. I would have tried to buy some stuff as an investment for later. But so we're at the penultimate month of the year here. So we're gonna, as much as I do want to do a little more hunting, I feel like it's in my better interest because we're coming up on January. That's when we'll get our golden food bonus. So I do want to get our town built up a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and build. We'll give it to Spotted Snake. Let him build for us. Got it up to 48. And probably we'll build again in December just to try to really get the most out of what happened. So you can see that this year's heavy snowfall blocked the road. So 15, and oh man, a lot going on. And 39 got snowfall blocked. So that means in those two prefectures, nobody can move in, out, or attack them. because they're blocked off. So it's kind of one of those random things that happens in December at the beginning of the winter, which can. Oh, look at this! Look at this! This is bad. So I didn't expect thunder. So here's what's going on. So Evil Galqui has some special rules about his prefectures. Unlike the Bandit Kings can expand as they wish, they can send their heroes out, they can move wherever they want. Evil Galqui's territories cannot expand. No matter how many people he has in there, he can't just move to a different territory. The only way he can gain territory is through attacking. He also cannot attack unprovoked because technically he's an official. He is the law. He has to follow the law. But there's ways around that, and this is how it is. This magistrate, Heaven's Thunder, is Evil Galqui's representative in Prefecture 24. And he says, Bandit Vermin, if you give me 110 gold immediately, I will consider forgiving you of your crimes. So basically, he's asking for a bribe. He's soliciting a bribe from us. And basically, the way it works is I can choose. If I pay him, he cannot attack me. And I can go about my business, but I lose 110 gold. If I say no, I don't have to pay him. But technically now I've broken the law in his eyes, I guess. And he can attack me. And they don't always attack. If you say no, they don't always attack. It depends how many troops they have versus how many troops you have, and a number of different factors. I was not prepared for this. I thought I had a couple more months. My troops have not been well allocated. They're not trained or armed at all. I was a little bit complacent. So I'm going to go ahead and pay this bribe. I'm going to say yes. We had no choice but to pay the bribe. That is quite unfortunate. And so now we've got a lot going on here, and it's getting a little bit scary. So you can see up here in the corner, we also had notification last month that we had beasts in the territory. So wild beasts are terrorizing the town folk. This is a great opportunity. If I hunt the beasts down, it takes a turn, it takes a large portion of body, and also oftentimes you lose a couple men. But you gain huge bonuses to your stat EXP, basically 50 EXP, like a half point to strength and dexterity. And you gain a couple popularity points, I believe 1 popularity point for each beast. So in this case, I get a 2 popularity bonus, which is nice. But there's so much going on, I'm worried about my timetable. You have the entire season to take care of the beast. So I have through February to fight them. It only takes 1 month. So I'm going to wait first. I'm going to go ahead and complete my plan here. I'm going to service. I want to build again. I'll be sending 9 dragons to deal with the beasts if I do that. So we're going to let Leaping Tiger build again. The goal of this, of course, is just to get the biggest payday we can in January. We're going to have to hope for a little luck here that Evil Gout doesn't come knocking on my door too frequently here, because I'm just not in a position to fight him off. I will be soon, but I guess we'll just have to see. So we're at 11:06. We've got a new month, and we'll see. We've got a turn here, so that's good. We've got a nice bonus to our money and our food. They both jumped up. We still have this fur to sell, so that's very nice. So we're in a good position, but we do need to get established. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check. It's always a good policy in January to check your heroes, make sure nobody's loyalty suffered. So you can see a couple of them went down. God of Silence was 91, now he's 89. But nobody's dropped too far again. If they're even 60 plus is fair. I wouldn't worry about them until they were under 60. So I'm good with that. We're going to go ahead and fight the beasts here. The plan is, let's go ahead and get these beasts out. They'll take a couple of 9 Dragons men. He has 92 right now. Let's go ahead and hunt. Successfully hunted down the leopards, so that's great news. If you try to fight beasts without enough men, or no men, there's a chance that your hero will be seriously wounded in the hunt. If that happens, he's reduced to his minimum body, which is 15 or 20, and basically becomes useless for a number of turns, which would be very bad. If you don't send your true hero, you can send any of your guys, and it can be a great strength booster from them. But if you send somebody who's too weak, he can actually be killed, and you can lose that hero permanently. So gotta be careful with the beasts. Don't take the beasts lightly. Okay, so we're back. It's February. We're in good shape now. We're gonna go ahead and hire some men. So right now, men are pretty cheap because it's 33% on the market. Usually, I think men cost 7 gold a person to hire under like a 50 market condition, which is average. So this is great. This is a great price right now. We're gonna put in 181. That's gonna bring us up to 400. We're gonna top off 9 dragons, Wiley, Spotted, and Leaping Tiger. Always better to have 100 men than to split like 2 people with 50. When you're in battle, you gain an advantage for having more men than your enemy. It's just an advantage of numbers. So if somebody with 100 attacks somebody with 50, they get a big bonus for the person with 100. So 2 people with 50 is actually less efficient than 1 person with 100. So generally, you try and keep everybody topped off that way. So that's good. That'll buy us a little breathing room. But our boys here, we got 400 new men, but they're not well trained and they're not well armed. So if we got oh, here he comes. Okay. That's unfortunate. We're just not quite ready. I don't want him to attack me. I don't know if he would. I think it's probably 50-50 right now. He might be bluffing me, but I don't want to find out the hard way. It's worth the 150 just to give me another couple turns. If I can get maybe 2 training sessions in on these guys, I'll be comfortable bringing them to battle. But you see, that training value of 27 is very low, and that's a little bit scary. So let's go ahead and train. We're gonna let we'll let 9 dragons do it. And I don't like doing that when his body's kind of low, but right now with Heaven's Thunder breathing down my neck, it's better to get that training value up. Like, let's bump it up. Let's get it as much as we can. And 9 dragons has the highest stats of any of my guys. He's going to get the most out of that training session. If I had to use Spotted Snake, we're probably looking at like maybe 37, 38, somewhere in there. And I think every point counts right now because we don't know when he's going to ask for money again. And I'd like to avoid having to pay another bribe to that punk, because I know we could beat him with a little bit of training. So let's train again. This time I'm going to let Leaping Tiger do it. Training only takes 5 body, which is nice. It doesn't take that much. So 2 people can alternate training and keep their bodies at least stacked to where they are. Alright, we're at 59. We're going to train again. We're not going to stop until we get that much closer to 100. We'll let 9 dragons roll again. 76. Alright, we're getting closer. If he came at me now, I'd probably give him a run. Probably give him a run and see what happened. But if he can give us a couple more turns, that'd be fantastic. Alright, let's see. I was hoping for an earlier rotation, because I just expect that Heaven's Thunder is going to knock on my door a couple more times. I don't think that they really take into account your training. They, for the most part, take into account your relative number of men. Alright, Leaping Tiger, can you finish us? 91, not quite, but we're almost there. Ideally, I'd like to get that training to 100, so if I get an opportunity here. First Brother seems to have left Master of Tattooed Priest in 6. Unfortunately, he's all the way over here. Now, when a bandit leaves, when one of your men leaves, he'll show up in one of these adjacent territories. It'd be great if First Brother could, make his way over here to 25, because he is somebody I would love to recruit. But unfortunately, that is very unlikely. He'll likely get snapped up by somebody else before he makes it all the way out here, if he ever does. I'm not sure if there are preset patterns as to where some of these heroes can and can't go. We'll let Spotted Snake take us home here. We're up to 100. That's good news. Feeling good. Alright, let's continue our little discussion here. We've got a couple of lesser guys. So these guys here in 21, 30, 35, 31. That's Elder Tiger, who is not a playable hero from the start. Okay, so we've done well. Our training is where we want it to be. Now we're going to boost our arms just a little bit, because again, I'm expecting an attack at some point. So I'm going to travel with 9 dragons. We're going to sell that fur that we were holding on to. 1.2 is better than the 1.1 it was last time. Still a terrible rate. But at this point, it doesn't matter as much because we're going to be buying arms anyway. So the fur is cheap, but the arms will be a little cheaper as well. We're going to sell, well, yeah, we're going to sell a little bit of food. Probably maybe 900. So that leaves us with 1,200. That's plenty to get us through to January. And gives us some money. So now the smithy. 3 gold will raise your arms by 1. This calculation is very strange because 3 gold will raise your arms by 1. So basically it's telling you how much this will cost, right? Like basically every one of these costs 3 gold. But in order to raise this by 1%, that's not what this 1 means, I don't think. It's kind of weird. So usually I just kind of math it out. So like if I can buy 345, that means if I want to spend say 500, I probably need to do about a half of that. So I'll go to like 200, which is a little more than half. That should leave me with maybe like 400, 435, I would say. And indeed it did. And so now my arms has increased up to 50%. So that's pretty good. I would like to get it higher, but I want to save some money just in case. So I think we're going to call that good. We'll go ahead and return. That's our deal for now. I probably should look at the ship's situation too. I didn't really check my ships. I think everybody has one, but except maybe God of Silence, who is irrelevant at this point, since he has no men. All right, our next little guy over here, 22. It's maybe hard to tell, but 22 is a different symbol from Elder Tiger. This is Demon Lord in 22. He's a small player. He's a wizard, which is interesting, but usually he doesn't do a whole lot down there. He's just kind of hanging out. And of course now we have 2 new people in town that turn after I was just down there. Who do we have down here? Whew, those are 2 fabulous characters. Chief Advisor, 88 strength, 73 dex, 71 wisdom, very potent. And Twin Daggers, also a decent guy, 74 strength, 65 archery, and 68 wisdom. 2 solid characters. Neither of them will join me at this point of the game with my low popularity. So as nice as it would be to be able to recruit them, I didn't really miss anything. All right, so we're in good shape with our arms and training. We don't have anything to worry about from an attack. I'm sure I could fight off Evil Galqui should he come this way. So I'm going to work on raising the town again. Again, I want to get as big a payday as possible with the coming times. We'll let God of Silence do some work for us. We're going to build and farm over the next couple months and just try to get that, try and get those values up and try to get the town popularity up so that we can get as much money as possible in January. And hopefully we'll get enough to top off that arms value. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe even get well, we'll see. We got other plans for God of Silence, but I don't think he'll be getting any men anytime quite yet. So, okay, so let's go ahead and do a farming. We'll let Spotted Snake handle that one. Alright, so I think our last one to look at today is number 5. That is Tiger Fighter up in 5. He's actually a pretty low-ranking character. He kind of takes over up there in Scenario 4 for I think Raw Iron Priest is there in Scenario 3, which is a year earlier. So he's somebody we may approach. So one of the things we can do, we can't do much now because we don't have any popularity, but we can actually try to invite heroes to join us. We can combine forces. So you can see I could approach Bold Eagle, Demon Lord, or Tiger Fighter and try to get them to join my crew. It costs a bunch of gold, but it's a quick way to gain some heroes right away. The ones who are really good, like, you know, Bold Eagle is a playable character. He's a very good character, very proud. He won't join you until much later in the game. But somebody like Tiger Fighter, you could actually probably entice pretty early. The one rule for inviting, you noticed I could only invite Demon Lord, Bold Eagle, and Tiger Fighter. What do you notice in common with them? They each only have one prefecture. Anybody who has multiple prefectures cannot be invited. So I can't get Welcome Rain or Tattooed Priest unless they were reduced down to one prefecture. Technically, if I was a different hero, somebody could invite 9 dragons. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so we're gonna get back to work. We're gonna go back to the farming game. Get our food up. We'll let Leaping Tiger handle that one. That's good. And then December we'll probably do one more service and go from there. And we should get a nice hefty payday. Heaven Thunder has not come knocking again for quite some time, which is surprising. I'm wondering where he's at. Didn't come this month. All right, so let's. Oh, great! So our popularity is up to 100 here, so that's good. That helps us out. We'll do one more. We'll do a build. We're gonna build with 9 dragons. 57. Okay, so we've done what we can to get a solid paycheck in 2000. I'm sorry, in 1107, not 2007. And now we wait. Still nothing going on. It's been a pretty quiet game too. You'll notice. Each January, kind of Emperor Huizong kind of chips in on a progress report, essentially, when he says that Black Whirlwind has gone over to Evil Gal. Black Whirlwind is a playable character in Scenario 3. Very difficult character to win with, but a very strong character. And the fact that he went over to Evil Gal, you'll notice that, especially in January, heroes with low loyalty sometimes can just desert and go over to the evil side. And that's unfortunate because that means probably we'll have to face them in battle at some point. So not looking forward to that. Okay, that was a pretty substantial paycheck. Let's check our folks because it's January. Make sure everybody's happy. They're going down, but not that fast. We'll have to keep an eye on Spotted Snake, but overall we're okay. You'll notice that my arms and my training went down both by 5% each year. So in January, those values go down. So you have to make sure to top those off. I'm going to start with the arms. I'm going to go ahead and go downtown, or go travel, I should say. Downtown is specifically to recruit. I'm going to go to the smithy and see if I can top off these weapons. And indeed I did. So my arms are at 100. Excellent. Does anybody need a ship? We do need a ship, so I feel like one of my guys can make a ship, which is cheaper. I'm going to wait on that ship and try to make it myself. I am going to sell some food, not too much, maybe like 800. There we go. So that gives us a nice stockpile of food and gold. We could divine these guys just to check, but they're both going to say no. Uncomfortable with the thought of serving you. Come on, Twin Daggers, give me a run. No, he's not having it. I didn't think so. That's too bad. One thing you can do down here, you can also listen to rumors if you want to pay some money. It'll kind of give you a list of people who supposedly would join you based on your current popularity across the world. It's not terribly useful because most of these characters are either, are out who knows where and you'll never even see them. But I'll show you guys what it's about. Listen to the rumors, sure. So there's 19 people currently in the game who would be willing to join you. You don't get to see all 19. Here's just a sampling of them. Lively One is a terrible character. Iron Whistle is awful. Third Brother's good. Unstrung Bow is good. Yangtze Hound is not really anything special. Jewel Camel's no good. Red Hair Dragon, great character as well. But a lot of these guys are on the East Coast, so you can see actually where they are. He's in 8, he's in 10, he's in 2, he's in 14, which we may get up to. 14 is not that far away. 40 is a little bit down to the south, so those guys we'll have to keep an eye on. Iron Whistle and Jewel Camel are terrible. They're not even worth going up to 2-4. And, of course, Red Hair Dragon in 33, that's very far away. So, it's a kind of a cool way to see who's out there who you might take a look at. If we came across any of those characters we would certainly want to try to pick them up. You can see 2 is all the way up here. But 14's up there. Unstrung bow, that might be worth going for. 40 Yangtze Hound was down here. And of course, Red Hair Dragon all the way down to 33. Not likely to see him in this particular game. Although you never know. Oh, all right, here we go. So, Heaven's Thunder comes knocking here in February. And we're going to say no this time. Let's see if he wants to scrap. He does indeed. Okay. Ooh, oh my. So our friend Heaven Thunder is going to bring 990 men up against my 400. This should be interesting. We'll see if we can handle this. I'm not actually sure that I'll be able to, but we're going to try. So I'm going to bring out my boy Wiley Warrior, Spotted Snake, and Leaping Tiger. God of Silence, I'm going to bring him out as well. We're going to leave 9 dragons behind for the moment. We'll pull him out later. The reason is we have 3 castles here on the map. 1, 2, and 3. These are give you a huge bonus to your attack and your defense. You want to sit on the castles if possible, and you want to make your opponent attack you in the castle and not out of the castle, because that's your best defense. So we're going to set up our guys. Anywhere there's a 25 is a place I can position my troops. So I'm going to put Wiley Warrior right here in the middle. What's going on, Wiley? There you go. Spotted Snake will be the first to be targeted, most likely. I'm going to put him... I haven't decided yet. What do I want to do with him? I'm going to put him here for now. And I'm going to put Leaping Tiger down here. And God of Silence is going to hang out up here. He's actually going to flee immediately. So there are our foes. Now let's see who we're facing. So Wiley... actually positioned him kind of incorrectly. I want to put him here. And I'll explain that in a moment. Spotted Snake's just going to rest. Leaping Tiger's just going to rest. And God of Silence is going to flee. And we're going to send him to... where do I want to send him? I want to send him to 17. Oh, they took him prisoner. Alright, well that's unfortunate. Okay. Gold Keeper. So now I'm looking at our foes here. Swift Vanguard. That's a very dangerous opponent. Swift in Water. Also a tough guy. Red Horse Rider. I can't remember if he's good or not. I think he is. Double Clubs is also very dangerous. So they've got a good crew here. Split Spear is a solid guy. Little Judge is not that much. He's kind of a bum. Younger Dang. Not really that impressive. I'm not worried about him. Iron Arm's a punk. This is a tough crew. This is going to be dangerous. So we're going to see. So we've got Wiley sitting here. I'm hoping people will come in range of his magic. Now, a magic user can only use magic if it's a cloudy day. You can see the weather up here. We've got a sunny day. So I need clouds up here in order for him to use his magic. I also would like more people to get closer. So we're just going to hang out here. I'm not going to initiate anything. I'm going to wait. When you attack somebody, as they have attacked me here, they have 30 days to complete the battle. If you can't win in 30 days, you automatically lose. So, as a defender, I have to either defeat all of my opponents, or capture my enemy commander, which is Thunderspark right here with the special flag, or I just need to stall for 30 days. 30 days is a long time, and it's a little bit tough to stall, but these... the CPU is not always that smart, and sometimes it does some very odd things. So we'll see what happens. So Wiley Warrior, you can notice he took an attack. He took an archery attack from this guy here. Took 2 of his men down. That sucks, and I hate to lose men for free. But I've got him positioned so he could hit some guys with magic, which could be very potent. So I'm just going to stay here in range. Even though he's going to take a couple hits, I think it's worth it. Spot Snake can't use archery, but Leaping Tiger can, so I'm going to use his archery. Archery attacks 2 spots in front of you, so in this case it'd be like here, here, here. That's a mountain, so you can't attack a mountain. Here. You can't shoot over a mountain either, so I don't think I could go that way. In fact, I know I wouldn't. or here. So I'm going to go this way and shoot that dude. That allows me to hit him without taking any damage myself. The other attacks are a melee attack, where you basically just go head-to-head and both sides take casualties. A fire attack, which you can only use if your hero's wisdom is above 60, or a duel. You cannot duel somebody who's in a castle, which is a benefit of keeping guys in castles. But a duel does your body against their body in a one-on-one combat, and the loser is captured. The problem is there's a glitch, not a glitch, a bug in the code for dueling, which gives a huge advantage to your opponent, the CPU in this case. So it's very hard to win duels. I'm a little bit nervous about this guy crossing the river, but I'm going to try to stay here one more turn and really hope for some magic. So you see what happened here. This guy came up and tried to punk Spotted Snake. Didn't go well for him. He lost 43 men. I lost 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and take care of him. He is not able to handle me. So these guys, as I suspected, while they have the advantage in numbers, they are not as well trained or armed as me. And that makes a big difference. And as the defending player, I have the advantage of the castles. So even though these guys have a big... oh, he's coming after me. That's not good. So I'm going to have to retreat with Wiley Warrior. Unless we get a cloudy day. Really would love a cloudy day here. Come on, clouds. Come on, be there. Oh, it's snow. Snow does not count as a cloudy day. So I need to get Wiley back into this castle here, because otherwise he's going to take a beating. Spotted Snake's just going to keep pounding this guy away. And I'm going to continue to use archery. You can see how many volleys I have remaining here. So I have 8. Again, that's based on my arms. Remember, on the last turn before I got attacked, I brought my archery up to 100%, which gives me 10 volleys, which is the maximum. So I can be shooting them with arrows most likely longer than they can be shooting me. We'll have to take a look and see what our difference is here between these two groups. They've got a couple volleys. So you see the difference there with Red Horse Rider. When we were both on those hills, our losses were roughly equal. Now, when he attacks me in the castle, I gain the upper hand. So castle makes a big difference. Let's take a look at Red Horse Rider. Because I can't remember if he's any good anyway. He's okay. 69 strength. He's a decent guy. But so you can see, their arms and their training are abysmal compared to mine. My arms were 195 respectively. So that's why I have such a huge advantage here in the one-on-one battles. The question is, do they have the numbers to overwhelm me despite my advantage there? We're not going to look at all those guys just because, you know. Alright, Spotted Snake. See if I can capture him. Okay, I should have explained that, but we'll get another opportunity. So when their numbers go into the red, that means that their men have all been defeated, but the hero is still there fighting by himself, and that red number becomes the hero's body value. If you can reduce that body to 0, you capture that hero, have a chance to either recruit him or imprison him after the battle. If he escapes, then obviously he can live to plague you at a later time. So you can see these guys, while just Red Horse Rider by himself has done significant damage to Wiley Warrior, who's going to try to set this guy on fire, but failed. Spotted Snake and Leaping Tiger. I mean, Leaping Tiger's fighting off like 3 guys on his own over here. He's a beast, and that's why he's such a valuable member of my team, and why I wanted to keep his body very high. You can imagine if Leaping Tiger is having this kind of success against these guys, that 9 dragons as well will be a difficult task for these guys to take down. What I'm doing here is just trying to lower their forces as best I can until I'm able to bring 9 dragons in and mop them up. Now we may have be in a little bit of trouble here as well. I try to set another fireball. Oh, success. So now I've set him on fire. He will have to either put that fire out or move. If he ends his next turn in the fire, he will take massive damage. It's actually kind of a random amount of damage, but it can be massive. So the fire is a good delaying tactic. It's usually not that troublesome for, it doesn't really help you take a lot of men out, because, I mean, he'll just put it out or move. In that case, he put it out. But it does keep him from attacking me for a turn, which is very helpful. Especially because now that guy just showed up. And so you can see Wiley Warrior's not doing as well in the second round as we talked about, because the numbers advantage is there. Oh, we have a cloudy day, so let's give this a shot here. Let's see if we can get lucky with the magic. So on a cloudy day, I can cast magic. When I cast magic, it affects each unit within range, and there is a chance, based on their wisdom score, to see whether they will be affected by it or see through it. If they see through it, nothing happens. If they're affected by it, they lose a gang of men and get stunned for a number of turns. So in this case, we have 3 potential targets. Especially that guy with 84, it would be a huge victory for me if I could affect him with the magic. So let's try it. Oh, we got that guy. Boom! Swift in water. He's done. Red Horse Rider saw through it. Oh! We got Split Spear too. Look at that. That took 74 men from him. A huge, huge turn of the tide for me right there. So now I have to make a decision. And I think, as much as I would love to be able to capture Swift in Water, who's that 55, he's just going to float down the river. I don't... Oh, boy. Choices. So my choices here are, I can easily capture that guy with 38. If I choose to, I could charge into the water, attack the guy with 55. That's just his body score, remember, because it's red. Probably capture him. And Swift in Water is a great character. I'd love to have him captured. But I don't think it's worth abandoning the... Maybe it would be. I'm going to try it. This is a little bit of a gamble. Oh, I can't. Never mind. I can't charge into the river. The currents are too wild. Okay, well, that makes it easy then. I'm just going to go ahead and tackle this guy. Oh, that was double clubs. Boy, I didn't realize that's who that was. I would have done that in any case, because I actually like double clubs better than I like Swift in Water. So that was a good capture. Swift in Water is just kind of chilling there. Split Spear is dazzled. Younger Dang's about to be captured. This battle has totally turned in my favor, thanks in large part to some good magical timing. Wiley Warrior. So now here's an interesting tactic. If I wanted to, because that guy with 10, right, is stunned for a number of turns, I could try to set him on fire. And if I did, he would not be able to put it out, and so he would just burn. But he's so low, it's not really worth it. I'm just going to try to take him out before he recovers so I can capture him. Spod Stake's just going to rest. Leaping Tiger's going to take out Younger Dang here. We'll capture him. So far, a very profitable battle. Goldkeeper is not a very strong hero. He should not have any chance against Leaping Tiger. Swift Vanguard still running around down there on the bottom left. He's a little bit of a stronger character, so we'll have to see what happens with him. We're going to keep trying to capture this guy here. He's down to 36 body. Spotted Snake will rest. Leaping Tiger's just going to go ahead and put this guy down. Oh, so now he started me on fire. That was inconvenient. So you notice there, Swift in Water, maybe you noticed, tried to get out of the water but couldn't. When you're in the river, especially if you're not a steersman, it can be difficult to navigate. You're not always able to get out of the river. Sometimes it draws you back in, and sometimes it sweeps you down the river. If you get swept off the map, your character is lost. So not a good thing to have happen. I'm going to go ahead again and try. Okay, cool. So if you can get somebody's body under 10, in this case I got him down to 6, they become too exhausted to fight. So you'll see on his next turn, he will be forced to rest and gain 2 body back until he's back up to 10. I need to try to put this out. Okay, so I put out the fires. Goalkeeper is just going to attack me futilely. Swift and Water is coming up. Red Horse Rider is going to keep trying to attack me. Split Spear is exhausted. So I'm going to go ahead and capture Split Spear. I could use Magic again. Now Magic really lowers it. I think it costs like 20 body to use, or maybe 15. It's a very taxing thing to do. Considering the only people in range don't even have any men, I don't think it's worth the body points to spend. Because of that, because of how much it costs, the most you can do in any given battle is 2 magics. I don't know if that's true across the board, but it's almost certainly true for in every situation I've ever seen. So, all right, we'll capture Split Spear. That's good. Spotted Snake's over here just chilling. Leaping Tiger is going to continue to beat down Goalkeeper. And they just start throwing themselves at me. See how Swift Vanguard does. He's a tougher customer than Goalkeeper for sure. I still, after all this now, may have an opportunity to capture Swift and Water if he is foolish enough to attack me. I'm just going to rest and wait. Spotted Snake is just going to rest and wait. Leaping Tiger. I'm not going to try to tangle with a full 100 men. Let's see. Okay, he did a lot more damage to me than the other guys were doing, that's for sure. But I still think it looks like I have the upper hand. And this battle is, as you can see, I now have the numbers advantage as well. You can see over here, I have 269 men remaining. They only have, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm the defender, so they still have 6 more men than me, so see how long that lasts. And of course, my best character has not even come out to fight yet. I'm going to withdraw Wiley Warrior. I feel like he's done good work today, so I'm going to flee. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to flee within. So now he's returned to the castle. That's where 9, so he's basically returned to the reserve. If you send somebody inside like that, they can't come back out for a number of days. So you have to use that strategically, but Swift Vanguard's been taken care of. Iron Armed. Can't get out of the river. Heaven's Thunder's coming around the mountains. It's day 17, as you can see up here, so we have 13 more days to go, or looks like we're going to wipe them out before that time frame comes through. I would love to be able to capture Swift Vanguard. I hope he gets low enough to it. Now, so here's it's a gamble here. With 49, he might run away, or he might try to attack me again. I'm not sure which. If I attack him and bring him between 10 and 49, I will not be able to capture him. If I rest, we're left to the mercy of the AI to whether he flees or tries to attack me once more. I think I'm going to rest and see what he does. See if he flees or if he comes after me. He came after me, and I captured him, so that is awesome. It looks like Iron Arm is going to go around and try to take out Spotted Snake from the north, and I'm okay to just relax and let that happen, so we'll see. And Heaven Thunder coming down the river as well. Again, the AI can be a little bit baffling at times. I'm not really sure what they're up to right now, but since they are the aggressors, they have to attack me, so I'm just going to see what they're doing. I'm not really sure I know what's going on here. The AI is, especially in some of these battles, it can get a little confused. It's not the best AI. And you definitely have an opportunity if you're well trained and well armed to be able to take advantage of the AI's questionable decision making to turn the tide, as we saw in this battle. I was outnumbered more than 2 to 1 and made short work of them. But don't take that to mean that the battles don't have any strategy or are just easy wins. I have certainly been defeated especially with some of the tougher starting heroes. Like Bold Eagle, for example. Can be a very difficult run indeed. And if these guys had been better trained and armed, we would have had a much more taxing battle on our hands. Instead, they're basically out of time. I guess for whatever reason they got tired of fighting Leaping Tiger and wanted to come see if they could make Spotted Snake's life a little bit more miserable. But even Spotted Snake, with the power of the castle, has no trouble fighting these guys off. So that's good news for him. Iron Armed is a weak opponent. And Heaven Thunder he's a good archer. He has a high dexterity. He's a great archer, really. Over a 90 in most games. I'm going to go ahead and try to hurry this guy along here, so that maybe we'll have a chance to capture him before the battle ends. But Heaven's Thunder, great dexterity, not that great a strength. I'm really not worried about him at all at this point. I would have liked to be able to capture him, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen because we only have like 3 days left. And he can't seem to get out of the river. Oh, now he did. Now he's out of the river. So, see how he fares against Spotted Snake. I keep wanting to say Solid Snake, but this is not Solid Snake nor the big boss. Oh, he destroyed my ship. That's a kind of a dick move. It's going to cost me a couple hundred gold to replace, but take a couple of his men with me before we go. And we will call that the game. Heaven's Thunder will have to flee. And we have won a great victory. A great victory. I was a little scared there at first, but luckily their training in arms was obnoxious. So we're going to try and recruit some of these guys. We took 8 prisoners. 8 out of the 10 who came, we were able to capture. That is fantastic. Swift Vanguard, he says he would sooner die. So what we can do here, we have a couple options. If they don't want to join us, we can exile them, which basically makes them a free unit, and they can join whoever they want. I don't think I've ever really done that. We can execute them, which can be good. Sometimes it's better to just get guys off the board. But the best thing to do if they don't want to join you is to just imprison them. If you imprison them, they will be in your town as a free recruitable hero. And oftentimes, even if they won't join you after battle, they will join you once they've been imprisoned, because nobody likes to be in jail. Swift and Water, he's a similar guy. He's too good to get, but we'll put him in jail for now. Double Clubs, big fan of Double Clubs. He doesn't want to join me, though, so we'll put him away. Who we got here? Split Spear. He might join me. He did. All right, we got Split Spear. Little Judge. He will return the favor one day. Gold Keeper. He says no, so he'll go to jail. We got Younger Dang. He does not want to join me either, so to the prisons with him. Iron Arm will join me, I'm sure. Yes, he will. He's kind of a joke. So we've got a whole huge new crew here, and we've completely taken the teeth out of 24. So this is fantastic. But now we have, so I'm going to save after that bit of work, and we're probably going to have to wrap it up here, as we've been going for over an hour and it's getting late. We're currently recording at 12:20 a.m. Mountain Time. So let's just take a quick look though before we get too crazy. So the thing is, when you recruit a lot of guys after a battle, you can see they're pretty low. Split Spear, Little Judge, Iron Armed, everybody's kind of low. And since they've been captured, their bodies have been reduced to 0. We can take a look at them real quick. Show you guys what we got here. Right, so Split Spear, for example, he's all right. He's a 68 strength, not too bad. You can see his body though is 0 out of 91, so he can't actually leave you because he's too weak to even move. He has to be able to move to leave. So you have a couple months to get these guys powered up. We can take a peek at some of these other guys, just show you what they got. Little Judge, he's 34 strength, 46. Now this guy, he's somebody in this particular game. So their stats, the stats of the NPCs are randomized each game that you play, but not significantly. So like, for example, Little Judge is always going to be around a 78, but I think a 78 is kind of high for him in this game. But like, their stats are going to be within a certain range. Little Judge with a little work could be turned into a magic user in this game, and You saw, I think, in that last battle the potency of magic and how amazing that can be. So he's actually a little better in this game than he usually is. Um, and then who else do we get? We got Iron Armed. Iron Armed. Oh, wow, Iron Arm's better than I gave him credit for. 62 strength. I did not realize that. I'm impressed. I'm sorry, Iron Armed. I treated you dirty there. You deserve better than that. So in a case like this, we have another option. While we could take the next 3 turns to give these heroes money individually, the other thing we can do is feast. So a feast costs 72. That number is based on the number of heroes. It's roughly 10 per hero that's not your ruler. And that will increase everybody's loyalty a little bit, and maybe more importantly, everybody's body will recover. So after a battle, let's take another look. We can do this as a trick my stepdad taught me. You can do service, and that's a quick way to see how many men and body you have. You see, Wiley Warrior's body has been severely reduced from using that magic. 9 Dragons just sat in the castle all day, so he's fine. But all the other guys who were fighting takes a lot out of you. So even though I still have a good number of men, if I got attacked again, like these low body values would be troublesome. So after a battle like this where you've recruited a ton of guys, feasting isn't a bad idea. It's a quick way to get your body and loyalty back up a little bit, and hopefully get some of those guys who are lower into a more reasonable range. Also, I don't know if this is true. I don't know if it's just kind of a constant conjunction sort of thing, but I've never had somebody leave after a feast. I don't know if it's possible. I feel like feasting at the very least buys you some time. Hope maybe somebody can fact check me on that. I might have to go to the Game Facts boards. If you're ever interested in talking about Bandit Kings or learning more about Bandit Kings, I encourage you to visit the Game Facts message boards. There's actually a very knowledgeable fellow there, or who is usually there, has been for a number of years, named, and let me make sure I get his full name correct here. I don't want to misname anybody, because that would not be cool, especially somebody as prestigious as this. Chow Yun 2K is somebody who is on those message boards, and I'd say he knows more about Bandit Kings than literally anybody I can even imagine. And so if you're looking to get into this game, if you have questions, obviously you can ask me. You can we'll have our contact information kind of at the end of the podcast or at the end of the stream. You can always send a message to me. I'm happy to talk Bandit Kings with you. But the message boards on GameFAQs is a great place for information to ask questions. Okay, so let's take a quick look here before we wrap this up. So you can see the loyalties went up pretty well. They each gained about around 10. I think Split Spear and Little Judge were in the 30s, and Iron Armed was in the 40s. So they all kind of went up. So I'm going to do another feast, and that should put everybody up into at least a serviceable position. April 1107. I think this is probably where we're going to call it here. We've done some good work. We've got a good stable of heroes now. We've taken the teeth out of 24 for now. Evil Gal Kui could really restock quickly sometimes, but we should be safe from him for a while. And the town's in a good place. We got money. We got food. This is a great setup. We've set up very well in the early game here. Basically everything's gone precisely according to plan. So we're going to save here. April 1107, and that is where we're going to call it for Bandit Kings for today. Hopefully you'll join me next time for episode 0.2 while we continue our quest to free ancient China from the evil Gao Kui. Let me put up our contact information. Thanks for watching today. This is again the first stream I've actually done. So I hope that it wasn't too rough. Hopefully we'll continue to make it better as we go. If you have any feedback, if you have any questions, if you want to talk Bandit Kings, if you have suggestions for retro games that I could do in the future, I'd be happy to to take that under advisory. Our email is focustargetpodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is @FocusTarget, and our YouTube page, where this stream will be posted, is just YouTube. Just search for Focus Target. And of course, we also have a podcast, which you can find on YouTube, that we record weekly, myself, Van, and Chai. And if you're interested in just the thoughts of three dudes from the internet, that's what we provide. So thanks for being with me today. I hope you had fun. And if we will hope to see you next time. This is your host, Smiley. Did I say that at the beginning? Maybe it was inherent from the title of the stream, but Smiley's Retro Gaming Corner. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.